Madam President, I'm just going to let the couple individuals in from the waiting room.
Perfect.
We'll be all set to go.
Okay.
He's the closest.
Oh, I thought it was Sean's.
Yeah.
April Fools, I was gonna click leave
I
meeting.
know.
Madam President, at this time, everyone from the Zoom call has been brought in from the waiting room, and we are recording.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Can you please call the roll?
Volanich,
Here.
Nocera,
Here.
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum,
I'm here.
Cook.
Here. All right, let's go through the agenda. On the minutes. Luana. Mrs. Lulanich. All right, next resolution is forming a playground committee. Questions, comments? You want to do council on this?
Sure.
Everybody good with that? Okay. Ethics Committee, appointing those members. Questions, comments? Anything? Okay. Let's lose them here. All right, next is the special events application for Art on the Riverwalk. It's their 18th annual. Questions, comments? Sponsor? Ms. Lanich? Next resolution is for the Tonawanda Housing Authority. Standard resolution granting a 3% raise retro to April 1st. Questions? Comments? Who's the sponsor?
I'll take it.
Mr. Nocera? Okay, next is the special events application from the Vietnam Veterans, Chapter 77 for the chicken barbecue. This will be held in the city parking lot. Questions, comments? Good sign language. Who's the sponsor?
I'd like to take that, Madam President.
Mr. Rautenstrau? Okay. Next is a special event application from Delaware Hose for a hot dog sale to be held in the city parking lot. Questions, comments? Who's the sponsor? Mr. Nocera. All right. Okay, so Mayor, do you just want to brief the council on this resolution here? I know you had worked hard on it.
Yeah.
This is the landscape.
Yeah, what we put together was, we needed to, I sat down with Mandy, one of our goals this year was to beautify the city the best that we can. So we put a landscape agreement together with 6 or 7 entranceways into the city, from Creekside to Main Street, Delaware, Young Street, and also Niagara, coming from town of Tonawanda. And what that will do for us is give us some color, give us some, if you drive into the city, and Mandy doesn't have the manpower to do it. So what I did is I communicated with 6 or 7 landscapers who will do it. They'll do it for nothing. We also had to go through the wheel of contacting our local unions to give us permission to do that, which they did. So this contract was brought up. It's going to hopefully pass today. We can meet with them, and then Mandy, we can sit down with them. Mandy's already taken me in her vehicle. We showed all the entranceways we want to, location-wise, we want to use, and I think it'll help. They maintain it all year. They water it, they weed it, they make it look nice, and what they get for it is a small sign saying donated by. Not a big sign, a small, like a golf sponsor sign. So we're very excited about that because along with downtown, along with Canal Street, we'll have some color, and that's what we're looking for. So That's what it's about. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Mayor. So the next resolution directs the city attorney to draft up a contract with Maine Kramer for 4 acres at Spalding. And then there will be a secondary resolution authorizing the mayor to sign that contract. Any questions on that?
Madam
Yes.
President, who took number 8?
Oh, yeah, good call. Who's the sponsor for number 8?
Council.
Want to do the council?
Sure.
We go with it? Okay, sorry, I was jumping the gun there. So then the next resolution, as I said, this resolution directs the city attorney to draft up a contract with Maine Kramer Properties for 4 acres at Spalding. And then there will be a secondary resolution authorizing the mayor to sign that contract. Any questions on that? Okay. Then resolution 10, similar to resolution 9, directs the city attorney to draft up a contract with William Brown, AKA Innovative Medical Systems, for 4 acres at Spalding. Any questions on that? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, resolution 13, this is a special events application.
About 11.
From,
About 11.
oh, no. I don't have that page. Oh, sorry. Thanks for keeping me in line today, guys. Special events application from the Legion Post 264 and the Vietnam Veterans for Fill the Helmet fundraiser. Who wants that? Who's the sponsor?
I'd like that,
Oh,
Madam President.
Mr. Rounstrau, Mr. Ryland, do you want a second?
Is that going to be held?
Oh,
I didn't see a location for that. Is it going to be held at their?
it's
Usually in the streets.
It's at various locations in the
Yeah.
city. Mr. Clerk, do you have those locations?
Yes, give me 1 second.
I didn't need them now. I would just wanted to make sure that they were
I think
going to
it's,
be published.
yes, it's typically 4 or 5 locations.
Usually like Young Street, right around by.
Typically, it's Niagara and Franklin, Main and Broad.
They were at Young one year, weren't they?
And I think they were in Young. Yeah,
The location, Madam President, are Kohler and Niagara, State and Young, and Maine and Broad.
Kohler and Niagara, State and Young,
Maine and Broad.
Main and Broad. Okay. All right, perfect. Any questions on that? Okay. Resolution 12 is another special events application for the American Legion Post 264 and Vietnam Veterans, 77 for the classics on the Niagara. Questions on that? Who would like to sponsor? Mr. Nocera?
Sure.
Okay. Now we can do resolution 13. Special events application from Brooke Ben of the Girl Scout Troop for a fun run for the dogs at Vets Park. Any questions on that? Who would like to sponsor? Okay, if no one objects, I'll sponsor that. All right, then next is another special events application for COT Neighbors United for the community plant swap event to be held in Elmwood Park. Any questions on that? Who would like to sponsor?
I'd like to take that, Madam President.
Mr. Ronstra. All right, then next is a special events application from COT Neighbors United for a pop-up playground at Nyawanda Park and Veterans Park. Questions on that?
There's a few different dates, right?
Yes, it's on various dates. May 21st, August 20th.
Different locations on different dates.
Veterans Park is June 18th and July 16th and September 17th. Any other questions on that? Okay, would like that?
Like that again, if I could.
Okay. And the last of our special events is a special event application from COT Neighbors United for teen war dates at Eastern Park, Elmwood Park, Ives, Morgan Street, and Vets Park. Question, what is teen war dates? Does it, or teen war? Does anybody know?
I think they'd asked about it. I think they're just different events to games played with the teens. I'm not sure the details on it.
Okay.
To me, it sounded like youth days used to be.
Like competition.
Okay, so it's like a youth days, okay.
There will be no nuclear weapons, I understand.
Good.
All right, any other questions on that? Yes,
It's on June 17th. Is that, oh, no, the first one's on June 17th. Okay, that's,
yes, and then it'll be Elmwood Park, September 16th, Ives on July 8th.
June 17th 's prom. I think that's prom night for Tonawanda. If I'm just throwing that out.
Oh, okay. Okay,
And I'm sorry, Madam President, I just want to
Yes.
circle back on the last two of those. You know, we've done in the past, part of the agreement with special events is the certificate of insurance. You know, just given that the small nature of these, the small community building volunteer group, if all of us would be willing to waive the insurance on these.
so what are you asking to waive the insurance on, which resolutions?
We've got number 12 that lists the certificate of insurance for the, oh no, not 12, sorry. Oh, insurance. 14. There isn't one on the 15, on number 15.
Plant swap needs an insurance certificate?
That's technically all special events.
Why, then if all of them do, I mean, that is a good question that Mr. Rockstruck brought up. Why are they not required? Why are we being asked to waive that for these final ones?
The discussion we've had in the past is just given the small nature of the group, they're a volunteer group, they're not even a not-for-profit at this point. The whole idea of it is community building. What's that?
It's waived in the resolution.
Yeah,
It is waived in the resolution.
yeah, it specifies it.
Okay, I'm sure I didn't read that all the way through, my fault.
Madam President, resolution 14 does not have the.
14 does not waive, that was one I was
Does
looking
not
at.
waive it. It says resolved that a certificate of insurance named in the city of Tonawanda as additional insured be filed with the city clerk no later than May 9th.
Council is waived. Okay, I read the first one, I just assumed they were all written the same, so I just wanted to make sure they were all consistently waived by us.
So
So what is your motion?
To, I guess, the one where it's not specified that it's waived, number 14, if we could. I'm sorry. Yeah. Number 14 for the community plant swap.
But is that significantly different? I mean, I'm thinking I think the other two were waived because of the play nature
Mhm.
of the activity. I think this one, the plant swap appears to be more traditional. I have a table. Here are my items.
Yeah, which would be more reason to waive it.
Yeah, I don't, but to waive all certificates of insurance for one group versus any others. I mean, I want to make sure we're being consistent too for our other.
No, I
Yeah, so the council has the authority to waive
Okay,
the certificate of insurance. And we would include that in a resolution. So
and what is there a fee?
there
that
would
goes
be a
along with
fee.
that?
Yes, there's a fee that the entity would have to get insurance. So they would have to work with an insurance company to provide insurance for that event. And whatever that cost is, they would have to pay that cost.
And for a small group like that, and for what they're doing, it's a very prohibitive fee.
Okay, I wasn't aware.
No, yeah, and that's where I'm bringing that up.
You're welcome. So we have a motion by Mr. Rounstrau to amend this resolution, waiving the insurance on resolution 14. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so Mr. Clerk, if you could add we'll amend resolution 14. That this certificate of insurance, I'm trying to look for the proper verbiage here.
Specified in resolutions 15 and 16.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, so be it further resolved. Okay. So we will amend that, put that in there. Okay, that's just for resolution 14. Is that the,
Yeah, it's already specified in 15 and 16. I
Correct.
apologize for the confusion.
all right. I don't remember where we were. Okay. All right. So actually, resolution 16, who's the sponsor?
Oh, I'd like to take that again. If I may.
Stroh. Okay. All right. Next up, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for personnel of a particular person. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Madam
Seconded
President.
by Ms. Lalanich. Be just Sergeant Stroh. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Clerk, at 6:16 PM, be an executive.
Madam President, that was seconded by Mrs. Lalage.
Correct. So you'll, yes, yeah, absolutely.
At this time, everyone that's in the Zoom meeting will be placed in the waiting room until the executive session is ended. I will be pausing the recording at this time.
Why did I get this small chair today?
Somebody's.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Madam President, at this time, everyone from the waiting room has been brought back into the meeting, and we are recording at this time.
Okay, Mr. Treasurer, come on up. Apologize for the delay. All right.
Next meeting, we'll have the bond resolution authorizations on the docket. Right now, all we have is the bond resolution to authorize and borrow for the CHIPS, which is the 700,000 of roads and $1 million for Young Street. What I did is everyone should have in their folder the breakout that I had, and then so I took our capital budget for 2022. Showed what we already have the bond authorization prepared by Trust. And then I broke it out to things that are being pushed back at least another year, which would be the pedestrian bridge, items like that. CBD, CDBG, we don't bond, we get that. It's something we also push out. So it's on our capital budget, but it's not something we bond. We're not allowed to bond a community block grant. So what's left are our vehicle purchases, some smaller equipment. And what I was hoping to do and the reason why I'm bringing it up now is if the council chooses to go a different way, we need to have options for us to prepare those bond authorizations also. So I took the items that were smaller in nature, that were tough to bond, the cars, the vehicles, the high lifts. And I'm asking if we can use the federal money that was given to us for infrastructure and or helping us out after the pandemic to start making the turn toward budgeting for these items as opposed to always borrowing the money and then paying it out over the 5 or 10 year payback. So I kind of laid it out in that schedule. It amounts, all the departments, all the side things are 600 and change, 638. And again, if we don't bond them specifically, if we're doing it through the federal monies and council resolutions specifically for each thing, there's some room to add some money if the vehicle costs go up. There's room to take it away if we decide a project's not ready or if the vehicles aren't there. where if we borrow it, we have to pay it back or hold on to it, and we're kind of specific to the items we're buying. So if it's a high lift is 15 years and a car is 5, and we borrow for cars, and we buy a high lift, it changes the bond period. If we do it this way, we can be a little more flexible to make up for what's available to purchase from the vendors at the moment. So I know DPW has a problem getting trucks in, but they can get high lifts in. So, doing it this way gives us the flexibility to change that, where if I bond it, I have to actually be a lot more specific with our bonding agency and what to purchase.
Bill, is there a time limit on the bond because availability of big equipment might not come in for a year or two? Is there a time limit on the bond?
No,
12
when
months?
we borrow, it goes into a bond anticipation note, and that rolls for, that stays in the band as long as we need it. It's usually about 5 years, and we have to do something by that point. So we do have some bonds that are out there. We bonded an awful lot of things into COVID, and COVID happened. So there's things that are out there that are still there, and now possibly the vehicles are coming in. We finally have some staff back to do, lighting ball fields. So, the bonds are there. It doesn't become, when we roll it from the bond anticipation note into what permanent financing. When we go to permanent financing, that's when we really have to be specific on what we spent, what it was spent on, and then that's when it rolls out to a 20-year bond, 10-year bond, 5-year bond. So,
Thank you.
and this year we're going to be permanently financing our lighting purchase, and so because that's over the $1 million limit, we're also going to take a lot of our band items and permanently finance them now with the lighting, because once you cross the $1 million mark, you get into extra fees for bond ratings, additional accounting that's done by the specialist, Hodgins Russ and Municipal Solutions. So as long as we're going to go over the $1 million mark, we're going to get as much as we can, permanently finance it in one shot before the interest rates go up. So this will be a year where we probably permanently finance $2.5 million into $3 million, $3.9 million in that range. So that's going to be a larger permanent financing, but our band will drop down from the 6 million or 8 that it's at now, probably into the 4s if we don't add this equipment to the band. The key here is if you're okay with using the ARPA funds to authorize and buy the capital through that, then we're fine with what Hodgins Russ already is prepared for the next meeting. If we want to go back and pick some of these items and say, no, we still want to put them in the bond anticipation note, I would probably have to know by Thursday so that John Alessi has time to prepare those authorizations and get them into your packages for the next meeting. And then if the authorization goes through on April 19th, then we would publish that. It takes about a month, and then we actually do the bond financing in June. We do the band and the bond separately, and we'll be doing that. So this seems like a good time as any to start making the change toward putting some of our smaller capitals that was a little, buying a $10,000 lawnmower on a bond. It's something we had to do when we were tight. We have some flexibility now, and it's probably time to start budgeting for those items in our regular budget. So this helps us make that turn towards that goal.
Oh, thank you for that recommendation. Any questions? Mr. Clerk, if you could just poll the council to see if they're in support of the treasurer's recommendations.
Madam President, thank you. Lalonich,
Aye. Is that? Yeah, okay.
Nocera,
Aye.
Brownstrow,
Aye.
Bylam.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, there you go.
Okay. So we'll put that through, and I'll have that resolution will be in the package for the next meeting. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go around the room. I just had a couple things. Last evening, the variance was approved for 77 Young Street. So if the council is in support of publishing the direct sale, we can let the city clerk know. The variance is approved pending the direct sale for 77 Young Street.
That's the smoking
Yes,
water, correct?
yes.
What is the sale price?
because then we would set the contract.
Okay,
So we haven't even gotten that far yet. So the first step would be to publish the direct sale. Is Mr. Rua around?
He's in the hallway.
Oh, can somebody grab him for me, please? Thank you so much. You know what? We may have to put the sale price in the direct sale.
that's what I was
I
asking.
think we did that.
If you're gonna publish it, you're gonna have.
But I'll
to-
ask Mr. Rua. So on the topic here, we're talking about the variance that was approved last evening relative to 77 Young Street. So I'd like to poll the council to make sure to see if they're in support of that direct sale, and the clerk will publish. Included in the direct sale is the purchase price in there. Is that, do we do that at the notification? Okay, perfect. So we just notify that there's a potential for the direct sale. We do this for 3 weeks, and then we would discuss what the sale price is.
Correct. It's once a week for 3 weeks and indicate who it's being sold to.
Okay, perfect. So, Mr. Clerk, can you poll the council?
Again, this is for the direct sale of 77 Young Street. That's the piece that's adjacent to Smoke on the Water, correct?
Correct.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye. Okay,
If I can just
Yes.
ask one more question, I'm sorry. So this, just to be clear, we're approving, or we're saying that we're willing to sell it. We're not actually approving the sale because we don't have a sale.
correct.
Sell price on it.
That's
So that'll be another
That's correct. So
Okay.
for the next 3 weeks, we're going to publish.
that we have the
That's our
intent to sell it.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
I just wanted to be clear on it.
Okay, so, Mr. Clerk, if you could begin that publication. Okay. And Mr. Clerk, when you have a chance, if you could just mute all. Sounds okay. So then next, I know there were some conversations relative to the proposal we received from Mr. Pollack relative to 250 East Niagara. I think there was some back and forth discussions about contacting the state regarding alienation. I understand that those conversations have been resolved, right? And we're moving
Forward.
okay. So with that said, is the council in support of doing a direct sale for 250 East Niagara with Mr. Pollack? Pending the response from the state regarding the alienation. Am I correct, Mr. Rua?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President. When we sign the contract, we're going to put a contingency in there that if they have direction from New York State of whether or not the land is considered parkland, and if so, we will alienate other land to take that parkland's place.
But we have to post it for 3 consecutive
3
weeks.
weeks.
You have to advertise,
Yep.
correct? You have to give notice that it's your intent to consider the sale.
Right.
At a meeting after the 3-week publication period.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, if you could just pull the council.
Again, this is for the direct sale for 250 East Niagara Street.
Correct.
To authorize the publication for 3 consecutive weeks.
Correct.
Lulanich.
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye. All right, perfect. That wraps up what I had. Mrs. Lulanich, did you have anything for around the room?
No.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Lulanich. Mr. Nocera.
Just a couple brief items. The Easter egg hunt that was held past weekend at Vets Park was very well attended. The kids loved it. Great job by all the agencies involved, Parks and Rec, Police Department, DPW. The kids absolutely had a fantastic time. And it was great to have a good weather event finally, and that's all I have for that. Thank you, Madam President, for sending a letter out to our state leaders, national leaders regarding the renovation to fire headquarters for female firefighters. I hope that is taken care of very soon. That is not just an idea, but it is a necessity that we take care of that situation at fire headquarters.
Thank you, Mr. Nocera. Mr. Rautenstrau.
I have nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Rautenstrau. Mr. Mylum.
I have nothing at this time. Thank
Mayor.
I've got one thing. After speaking with our chief, Bill Strasburg, and I, we discussed there is an ordinance in place in regards to signs on public property, on our property, city property. And you know what? There's too many organizations like Ride for Roswell, blood drives. We got the fish derby for the kids. We've got Kiwanis, fish or their chicken barbecues. So what we thought of doing, and we're going to mull this around before we change the ordinance, but one of the thought process was to have the organizations fill out the events form. They fill out the events form, it comes to the council, we say yay or nay, if it's worthy enough, we accept it, and then Bill has the instructions of which ones he would allow. My question to Bill was, Bill, is this gonna be a hardship on the police? And he said, no, we can differentiate very easily. So it's gonna be a council decision and filled out on a per event basis. But we're gonna put this together and announce it to the public at the next meeting. But just let you know, that's something we're working on right now. But it is going to affect a lot of organizations.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Anything else? All right, then let's take a few-minute break before we go out on the floor. Technically 4 minutes.
Okay, at this time, Madam President, I'm going to pause the recording.
All right, Mr. Clerk, once you're ready.
Madam President, at this time, we are recording, and everyone from the on the Zoom call was brought in from the waiting room.
Okay. All right, let's call the meeting of City of Tonawanda Council to order. Can you please call the roll?
Lulanich,
Here.
Nocera,
Aye. Here.
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook.
Here. All right, if we can please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible.
please stand. We have a special guest to lead us in prayer tonight.
Thank you, Madam President. I will say a little prayer. Heavenly Father, creator, giver of life, taker of life, thank you for the moment. Thank you for everyone here, those who care and put their life down in some capacity to just be a service to each other and to the community. And that's love, Lord. And I ask that you guide everyone here, fill them with wisdom, and teach us all to ask for wisdom. If we ask for it, don't be surprised, we're going to get it. So help us to ask by faith. I pray for increased courage and humility to hear one another and to know where to ask, seek, and knock. Give us ears to hear. And also kindness, Lord, just throughout the whole community and the world for that matter. And Lord, just can't pray without just praying for all the evil in the world. And perhaps it sounds idealistic, but you say to overcome evil with good. And so help us manifest good in our own way, in our own backyard here, in our loving community. And lastly, Lord, just a special prayer for the family of Brother Dick Roche. He, fire department His family needs prayers. Dick's son-in-law's mother passed Thursday, and so they're burying her this week, and then there's going to be arrangements for Dick next week. And Lord, we just thank you for his life, his legacy, 6 decades plus of service, Tonawanda Fire Department, but in other ways too, the community, his trainings in the senior center, and just so we thank you. Thank you for his journey, and onward we march, Lord, with you at our side, and we love you. Thank you for the opportunity. Amen.
Okay, you may be seated. Communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondents have also been ordered and filed. We are not going into executive session. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. For those that are joining us virtually, there is a spot for you to raise your hand. And the clerk will call upon you. For those that are here, please approach the microphone. Mr. Clerk, do you have any residents that wish to address the council on the resolutions?
Madam President, at this time, I do not show anyone from the Zoom call looking to make any comments on the resolutions.
All right, hearing none. Let's roll. I'm just going to ask everybody in the audience if you could silence your cell phones, please.
Resolution number 1 by Councilmember Lulanich.
Do we have a second?
I'd like a second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rautenstrau.
Resolved that the common council minutes from March 15th, 2022 be accepted as filed.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. Mr. Clerk, I'd like to make a motion to waive resolutions 2 through 16. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Mylum. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2 by the council, seconded by the council.
Comments or questions? Comments. I'd like to thank all those that were interested in serving on the playground committee. I appreciate your interest, and I look forward to hearing from the committee in the near future. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 3 by Council President Cook.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam.
Seconded by Mr. Nocera. Comments or questions? Comment, I'd like to thank all those that had expressed an interest in serving on the Ethics Committee for a term to expire on December 31st. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4 by Councilmember Lulanich.
Do we have a second?
I'd like a second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rautenstrau. Comments or questions? Comment. So this resolution is for the 18th annual Art on the Riverwalk. I'd like to thank all the organizers for making this happen. Great work. And I look forward to visiting that. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5 by Councilmember Nocera.
I'll second. Any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich.
Aye.
Nocera.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution 6 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it.
Seconded by Mr. Nocera. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich.
Aye.
Nocera.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 7 by Councilmember Nocera.
Do we have a second? I'll second. Oh, Mr. Mylum, second by Mr. Mylum. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich.
Aye.
Nocera.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 8 by the council, seconded by the council.
Comments or questions? Comments, I'd like to thank the mayor and the unions for their work and cooperation on this resolution. I think this is great. About 6 to 7 entrances throughout our city will be beautified with the help of this landscaper. So thank you all for your work. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich.
Aye.
Nocera.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 9 by Council President Cook.
Do we have a second?
I'd like that, Madam President.
Seconded by Mr. Rautenstrau. Comments or questions? Comments. So this resolution, in a nutshell, directs the city attorney to prepare a contract with Main Kramer Properties for 4 acres at Spalding. There will be another resolution authorizing the mayor to sign. Can you please call the roll? Oh, any other comments or questions? Can you please call the roll?
Lulanich.
Aye.
Nocera.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 10 by Council President Cook.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Seconded by Mr. Mylum. Comments or questions? Comment in a nutshell, very similar to the previous resolution. This resolution directs the city attorney to draft up a contract with William Brown and Innovative Mechanical Systems for purchase of 4 acres at Spalding. There will be a follow-up resolution directing the mayor to sign that contract. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich.
Aye.
Nocera.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 11 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Seconded by Mr. Mylum. Comments or questions? Comment, so according to the special event application, this will take place at the corners of Kohler and Niagara, State and Young, and Main and Broad. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Lulanich.
Aye.
Nocera.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 12 by Councilmember Nocera.
We have a second. Second by Ms. Lulanich. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Malanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 13 by Council President Cook.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it.
Second by Mr. Nocera. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Malanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 14 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second? I'll second.
Madam President, Resolution 14 will be amended. The last resolved will be removed and be replaced with, be it further resolved that pursuant to Charter, Chapter 42, Parks and Recreation, Article 2, Conduct in Public Parks and City Ordinance, the Common Council has waived the requirement for the organization to provide a certificate of insurance.
That's correct. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Any other comments or questions?
If I can comment a second.
Mr. Rautenstrau?
I just want to say, this is a great event. I attended last year, and I just want to say thanks to the COT Neighbor United for, putting these events together, having some great events during the summer, and the community building that you're doing is great for our community. So just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rautenstrau. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Malanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 15 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Mylum. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
I'm sorry, Madam President, seconded by Councilmember Mylum.
Correct.
Thank you. Malanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 16 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it.
Second by Mr. Nocera. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Malanich,
Aye.
Nocera,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions. For those that are joining us virtually, there is a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so and the clerk will call upon you. For those that are joining us in person, please come forward. You freaked me out. I thought you were getting up. Any comments following the resolutions? Mr. Clerk, anyone wishing to address the council following the resolutions?
Madam President, at this time, I do not show anyone from the Zoom call looking to make any comments at this time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Rautenstrau.
Turn me off here. Again, I just want to reiterate that thanks to the COT Neighbors United, you got a lot of great events going on. And I would like to reference people to Councilman Mylum's webpage. He did a great job of putting it together in a readable format, so you can guys put it on your calendar for the events over the summer.
I think it's also on the city page.
And it is on the city page now too. It's been added to the calendar.
Mr. Rautenstrau, can you just speak into the microphone so we can hear you down here?
Yep, sorry about that.
Thank you.
Just wanted to, obviously thank the COT United. Thank you for everybody for waiving the insurance. So, this can continue and not be prohibitive to them. I just want to also comment, I know it was posted by the city treasurer. Recently, our tax bills have gone out this year. And you can go right online, you can pay them there. But more so the point, please take a minute to notice the difference between this year's tax bill and last year's tax bill. This council worked very hard to put forward a budget to pass along a savings to our residents. And I just want to give a kudos to all of us that made that happen for our residents. It's a reasonable decrease, and it's there, it's noticeable. So I just want to point it out and make sure you take a look at it while you're paying for it. And I think that was all on my list for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rautenstrau. Mrs. Lalanich.
I don't,
Thank you, Mrs. Lalanich. Mr. Nocera.
Yes, pretty much everybody knows that April is Autism Awareness Month and Autism Acceptance Month. I'm bringing this up in honor of my grandson Connor, who is autistic, nonverbal, but he is a wonderful, wonderful kid, and we love him to death. And certainly we accept him, and we're hopeful that as he continues his growth throughout his teen years, that he will be accepted into the community as well. He's had some rough patches with other kids and the bullying and the making fun of, but he stands tall. He's an Nocera, so he's a fighter. He doesn't back down from a fight. And that's why I'm bringing it up. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Nocera. Mr. Mylum.
And just to piggyback on that, can we light up City Hall? I think, what's the color for?
I think it is blue. It is lit up.
Blue, yes. In honor of that. That's great. I actually do have quite a few statements tonight. So number one, a couple of weeks ago, I ran into a friend who I hadn't seen in about 20 years and realized why is because he and his wife have been living in Ukraine. So they kind of fled. They're here now, and they're trying to get supplies to help family that still live there. And they've set up a GoFundMe through Salem Church. I believe if you go to Salem Church's Facebook page, you'll be able to see the wife. Her name escapes me, but she spoke last week during the service about what they're collecting money for. And just in a nutshell, what happened, one of their friends is still living there. The supplies are coming through Poland, and they're kind of getting stopped halfway across the country. And they're not getting up into the outer regions where most of the conflict is happening. So they're collecting money for medical supplies, number one. And number two, their neighbor has inherited 60 dogs. So they're taking care of those animals. So if anybody is available or able to would like to donate to that fund, you can go into the church office at Salem to donate. Second, we had a very brief discussion in the back room, and it was not in executive. But now that everything's kind of opening back up, I think it would be a good idea if we could put on the city webpage ways for the residents to get in touch with the firehouse to rent them for their private parties or any parties. It's not a huge money maker for them, but it's exposure for the volunteer fire departments to get people in and to have catered parties and whatnot in those locations. So if that could be better advertised for folks to take advantage of, we talked about ways that we can, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, help to start increasing the volunteer numbers. And this could be a way to get people in the door. And I know one of the first times I went in and got to see all the fire history, it kind of hooked me. So it's really a good way. So if we get that on the webpage, it'd be a nice idea. I spoke to Council President Cook this week as well. I'd like to reach out to Office Scott Sheehan about looking into getting a projector and a screen for this room for these meetings. Right now, when we do these meetings, the folks on Zoom have the advantage. They can see all of the PowerPoint presentations. They can see all the pictures. They can see all of the, everything that is being presented when a contractor comes in. And it kind of leaves folks who are here out, when we're sitting up here looking at it on paper. So the hope would be that we could project what we're seeing somewhere in here, and go from, make it a little bit easier to access by the community. And last but not least, and I don't want this to come off as an attack or a personal thing. It's the farthest thing from that. But I'd like, because I think that anything that can be done in this city to make government more transparent and accessible by residents should do it, no questions asked. But I do have an issue with a recent funding of a residents podcast that has been paid for with taxpayer money. On March 18th, the council received an email from the city clerk containing an attachment that was an invoice for a paid subscription to the podcast site Podbean. It was dated March 8th, 2022. It showed that this amount was paid to the company for their unlimited audio plan. The text of the email was pretty boilerplate. It's my understanding that this will be paid out of the mayor's budget, which come to find out it was. As a member of the audit committee, I'm very interested in where every penny of taxpayer money goes. And this one struck me as wrong, because we are paying a resident for his hobby to put out views. And when the city pays for it, it's city sanctioned views. It's not a lot of money, but it's not right that we're paying for a hobby of a resident. I was not provided an answer to this question until March 31st, so it took almost a month. I dug deeper into this issue, and in that issue, because I thought, why would we need to pay for this? It's a free service. Podbean, I use it with kids every single week. Kids make podcasts. So why pay for this? What's the benefit? Well, paying for it, the terms and the purchase allows the podcast to be monetized. So my question is, is that true? Are we going to allow a resident to have taxpayer money fund a hobby that they can then earn money off of? It's my question. It's not right. And if it is not monetized, then I'm sorry for that assertion. But the level of payment allows it to be monetized, cost per click, have ads on it. It does give some other bells and whistles, but that was the one that really kind of turned my head. The other thing that I am concerned about is if the city is paying for this, are we sanctioning the message? Is that a city sanctioned message that's going out through this podcast? If it is, maybe we'll get Mrs. Camerdiner to set one up and she can run one as well, and have the city pay for that, for what she wants to talk about. You know, during the last election, it was a big issue that there was a credit card misused for a piece of luggage. This is the same thing, same exact thing. I hope that we can rectify this and I don't know, somehow get this money back. If the resident wants to continue doing this, that should pay it out of their pocket, not from taxpayer funds. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marlin. Mayor?
Yes, a couple of things. One, in regards to the podcast, it was brought up in front of the whole council. And I didn't hear any rebuttal whatsoever on the podcast. Podcast, I was on it once, different councilmen have been on it. It's about the city. It's not about one individual, it's about the city. I support anything that's beneficial to the city. Any communication that's beneficial to the city. The reason why, because we don't have a paper. And I don't think the podcast is one way or the other. In fact, I think it's varied across the board. And I actually have the minutes from the meeting, which I will bring at the next meeting, in regards to everybody's remarks. I think the podcast was a great idea.
It is a great idea.
So I think it is, and I don't run it, I don't have anything to do with it. I just think it was a good idea to communicate what we are doing throughout the city to our city residents. which we have an obligation to. So I understand your point, but I just wanted to bring that point out also. I want to say a couple of positive things, and one of the positives are that we received a grant for Adirondack chairs, about 57 of them. Checks came in, we got 15,000 from what's called the East Hill Foundation. It's actually called ENWG Foundation. It's an affiliate of East Hill Foundation. They are Adirondack chairs, 55 pounds apiece. And I got the heavier ones for a reason so they don't end up in the water. We're gonna bolt them together. We're gonna take every other bench down around us, around the river. And it's gonna be gorgeous thinking of, you're gonna see the color from the boats out in the water. It's gonna be beautiful. I wanted to submit the application as a place where we can relax. We got the greatest waterways around of all the cities. We've got the Niagara River, we've got the Erie Canal, we've got the Elephant Creek. And you know what? I love it. We grew up here and I think it's a fantastic thing. Now it's time to enjoy it. And those benches are okay. Some of those benches are down there now. I don't know if I'd sit on one, but I'll tell you what, it's they're gonna be beautiful. They're gonna be mounted. They will put up, sit up all year. You'll be able to sit down. The only negative part is you ever try getting up from one, they're very difficult to get up from. So I think once they sit down, it's gonna be a captive audience. But I want to thank the people at the City Hall, my secretary, and the people that helped out the entire City Hall. We won this as a group effort. The only thing I can say, positive, Bill, is they're not yellow. They will not be yellow, I promise you that. But we're going to pick all different colors. It's gonna be very nice all the way down. I don't know if we'll be able to have enough room for 47 or 57 of them. We'll put as many as we can down here. They need to be up along the river or up in the canal. So I thank you for that. It's pretty cool. I thought that was great. Number one. Number two is that I wanted to thank an individual that was mentioned already by the fire chaplain. It's a certificate of resignation or recognition for a dedicated volunteer service presented in memory of Richard J. Roach, 60-year member of the Niagara Hose Company number 3. In recognition of his many years of service, 60 years, you're talking 6 decades. This gentleman worked for us over. In dedication to the city fire department, City Tonawanda Fire Police, and also the Niagara Hose Company number 3, signed by myself, Mayor, and Council President Jenna Cook. And if you would like to take this with you, sir, what I'd like to do is have this presented to the family. Family is here. Beautiful. Our condolences, and I want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's all I got, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. So good news to report. We've converted over 96% of our streetlights to LED. So just a little ways to go and that project will be over. Certainly excited that the variance was approved yesterday for 77 Young Street. I know a lot of time and effort went into that. So now we can proceed with a direct sale. So thank you, everybody involved. Just want to remind everybody that there's a fundraiser for the family of our late Councilman Tom Newman. It will be on April 10th from 3 to 6 at the Tonawanda Bowling Center. Hope to see many of you there. And you know, the city of Tonawanda is hiring for many positions. Please reach out to civil service if you are interested in for more information. And I want to give a shout out to Chief McNulty on his successful completion for the Fire Officer 4. This training is the final course in the New York State Fire Officer Series, and I understand that that test is not an easy one. So congratulations to you, Chief. Thank you. He didn't want me to do it, but want to wish a happy belated birthday to the city of Tonawanda. We recently celebrated the 119th birthday back on March 23rd. And the mayor had a nice birthday party. So that was really cool to see. So thank you, Mayor. And I'd like to call up our city attorney. If you could please come forward. So here in the city, we like to celebrate good news and yeah. I'm not gonna grill you, but good news and you know, I want to turn it over to the city attorney. I think you might have something to mention, Grandpa.
Yes, I have some good news. My daughter and her husband, Emily, and my daughter Emily and her husband Johnny are gonna have a baby this July of 2022. I'll be a grandfather for the first time and my first grandchild. So we're pretty excited about that. And with the good news, it makes everything all worth it.
And you're gonna be a
Thank you for-
papa, right?
I'm gonna be a papa, yes.
So on behalf of the council, this won't fit you, but
I'll work on it, though. A little pudgy, but I'll see.
but I just wanted you to show everybody your co-counsel.
Oh, there we go. Got the legal scale to justice on there. Thank you all so much. Oh, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. That is cool.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know this goes without saying, but you probably won't be sleeping for the next 18 years and neither will your daughter and son-in-law. So congratulations.
Thank you.
With that said, the council will be meeting, we're a few minutes behind, but we do have a representative from Guard Construction. So please come forward. Thank you. Just want to introduce the council to you. This is First Ward Councilwoman Monica Lalanich. Second Ward, Mr. Nocera. Third Ward is Councilman Sean Rounstraw. And Fourth Ward is Councilman Dave Milam.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. We're here tonight. We'd like to purchase a parcel of land that's in the Spalding Commerce Park. Our intention is to put our office there and our warehouse as well, and expand time into other buildings. One of the partners in the group is bringing the assembly of wind turbines for alternative energy. And that would be a separate building that we proposed. Very excited to get this going and we can get all the paperwork done. We'd love to start construction soon.
Perfect. And you've submitted a letter of interest?
Yes, we have.
Okay. Council, any questions?
What is the main function of the tenant?
For myself, I own a construction demolition company. Right now, we're headquartered in North Tonawanda, or town of Tonawanda, and on River Road. My trucking company was purchased by a regional group, and we have to move off the property with the construction company. So our intention is to have a warehouse there for our equipment. Our office is there. We have 25 employees that'll be coming and going from the site. The tenant that also will be there, partner in the group, is a company that builds wind turbines of various sizes. The medium-sized ones they hope to assemble themselves inside a warehouse on this property. So that's the housing up behind the turbine blades where the generator gears and that will be. So, and they'll put them together there and we'll transport them off to their installation. So
Said 25 employees.
yes, yeah,
And
that's
that'll
what we
be
have
all-
right now.
Will you expand that once you move up here, or is just everybody
No,
moving?
we'll expand that too. Yeah, we've been growing. This year, we're up quite a bit.
That's great.
It's a good time to be a contract customer.
Good news. Thank you.
Christopher, or Mr. Guard, correct me if I'm wrong, it was 6 acres that you were interested in purchasing,
That's
correct?
correct.
Okay.
I think after the right of ways are taken away, I think it's about 4.5 acres.
And that cost us 30,000.
Per
Any questions? Questions?
Thank you.
All right.
Looking forward to the town one.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will be in touch.
Okay, thanks.
All right, anything else, council? Okay, make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Rounstrau. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Next.
At this time, it concludes our Zoom call. You've taken the time this evening to join us for the council meeting. Our next meeting is Tuesday, April 19th. Take care and have a happy Easter.